What's up? What's up? What's up? I am so excited to be here. First of all, give yourself a round of applause and a clap on the back, a silent high five. You have made it through half of the week. I am here and I have the pleasure of chatting with Miss Krissy. Krissy is a business coach and a business mentor, and we're going to be chatting today about like the freedom to restructure your business, whether you are have been in business for some time or maybe you've been running this side hustle and you want to like running it like a side hustle. We're going to chat a little bit today about how to give yourself freedom to restructure and show up like a boss in your business. Before we jump into that, and I'm also going to have Krissy introduce herself. My name is Chanel. Coaches, consultants hired me when they wanted to dominate on social media. And I do that with cash generating content strategies to help you get more money in the bank. So, Krissy, super excited to have you here. Introduce yourself and let us know what it is you do and who you serve.
Yeah, thank you, Chanel, so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here on with you today. Yeah, so hey, I'm Krissy. I do a lot of things. Chanel's known me for a while, and our business have evolved a lot over the last few years. I am the owner of Krissy & Co. Marketing Consulting. I essentially help women who are looking to take their already very successful, profitable business and turn it into a six-figure brand. So I help women who've already kind of set the foundation in their business basically build it up, right? So I call myself a business architect, business mentor, because I have a lot of women that come to me and, they're being consistent, they're showing up on social media, but all of us hit this like plateau in our business where, money is good. Maybe you left your full-time job. Maybe you're almost ready to leave your full-time job. But you're at this place in your business where you're like, I've done everything that I've been taught. I'm doing this, I'm showing up on social media. I'm doing reels. I'm going live. I'm doing everything, but
doing all the things.
yes, but it's like, I feel like I'm getting like friend zoned by a lot of people that I'm meeting online. No one wants to hire me anymore, or everything just feels dry. I'm not really sure like what to do next. I help my clients basically kind of start from scratch. We go back to like the foundations of their business, and I help them restructure it so that way they can start showing up more at a CEO level on the back end. So whether that's hiring a team, raising their prices, upgrading their marketing from like a very basic model to like really stepping it up online. So I serve all different types of businesses, anywhere from like some of my clients have products that they sell, subscriptions. I help coaches, consultants as well, agency owners. So that's a little bit about what I do.
Cool. So Krissy and I met about almost 2 years ago, and she
So
and I
yeah.
both were growing our social media consulting agency. And, we have both seen each other, like you said, just really like evolve and shift. And one of the things that I want to talk about, that I know that you help businesses kind of like restructure with, but like giving yourself permission to explore other business models and being able to explore those business pivots. So like, tell me a little bit about like when you sort of thought about like shifting from like the agency model to consulting and mentoring.
Yeah, so I started off with just like your basic social media manager, like, solopreneur, highly overworked and underpaid, but I took on anyone that said I want to hire you, Krissy. Like
You
I
was
wanted
killing it. You were killing it.
Yeah, well, I was trying. I started my business in the middle of the pandemic, and like a lot of people have this success story as well. But I was just like grinding and just trying to get as many clients and experience as I wanted. I just want people to know my name. I wanted to gain a lot of experience in different industries, and I hired the coaches. I did all the things. I showed up consistently. And for about a year, I did really well. I got to the point where I was actually able to grow my social media manager gig into a full-on agency. Where, because it's a difference between running an agency and just being a social media manager.
Absolutely.
It's different. So I hired some graphic designers, had to fire some people, hired some VAs, had to fire some people, hired some copywriters, had to fire some people. And then eventually last spring, spring of 2021, I officially what I would call like booked out. And by fully booked out, I meant like I physically could not handle any more clients. Like I have a 3-year-old, well, at the time he was 2, but I had a 3-year-old. We were selling and buying a house, and I was maxed out.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't making the type of money that I wanted to make. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was maxed out, but I was like, yes, I felt successful. I had a great agency. I was helping to support other women grow a
Mm-hmm.
business that, by paying my team, but I wasn't making the kind of money and still didn't have the freedom. Like I didn't have
Right.
any freedom. I was working till 2 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
hustling, busting, trying to get client work done, burning out all the fires that.
Right. Trying to brand yourself.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I had thought about going into like consulting or coaching, but I was a little nervous because that's a whole nother beast on its own. And I had done so well with running the agency that I was a little nervous. But in actually last year, June, we actually just celebrated the 1 year anniversary. My brother-in-law passed away.
Mm.
And I don't know if you had saw that on social
Mm-hmm.
media online, but we lost my brother-in-law, 40 years old, very young guy, and perfectly healthy. But anyways, it kind of hit me and it put a lot of things into perspective. And it
Mm-hmm.
made me realize that, like, I'm 31. I have not done a lot of the things that I want to do. I want to travel more. I want to have
Mm-hmm.
more freedom and money to be able to give my son the experiences that I never had growing up.
Right.
And it really pushed me. Like it really, really pushed me to be like, life is short. And you can pass
Mm-hmm.
away at any time. And I wanted to make sure that I left something behind for my kids because my brother-in-law unfortunately did not have much to leave behind for his children.
Mm.
And that was really difficult for our entire family because we're all running around trying to
Right.
pay everything. But so I didn't want that to happen. If something ever happened to me, I'm preparing for the worst. So I decided I hired a high ticket coach that I knew was gonna like really push me and keep me accountable and push me past my limits. And I just announced, I started coaching one-on-one, started working with a variety of different women, really figuring out, what my strong suits were and what my weaknesses were as far as like what type of people to help. And since then, now, I don't even have to market for my agency because that's still consistently like just continues to stay booked because I get referrals all the time. I'm still
Mm-hmm.
an agency, so I don't really talk about that much because it's like I said, it's fully booked out. But
Booked and busy.
look busy. But with the coaching, I now about 70% of my income that I make is from coaching, and it's been a wild ride. I feel like I have more time and like for myself, not even just for my family, but for myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
I go get my nails done, every couple of weeks. Before I didn't have time to like even do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I turn my phone off by a certain time at the end of the night. I don't work on the weekends. Like I didn't really have like that luxury a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now, even though like I have more clients and I'm making more money, but I've restructured it in a way that fits my lifestyle that I really want, you
And
know?
see, I love that you said that because I think, a lot of times, especially on social media, since you and I, that's what we kind of like live and breathe, you see people and you're like, okay, well, Krissy's out there, she's killing it, not recognizing that you don't have time freedom, that you are
Mhm.
working to, 2 a.m. or that you're tired and not able to show up for your son the way you want to. So,
Mhm.
just really being able to give ourselves permission to recognize when we need to pause, go out there, get some help, like you said, hire a coach, but being able to give ourselves permission to restructure and do some different things so we can build in more freedom in our businesses. So y'all probably
Absolutely.
saw me scrambling around. I was trying to find a plug real quick. So if y'all see the staff photo bomb me, I'm sitting at Panera. But you know what? This is where we talk about like freedom and being able to move around. My girls are graduating this year.
Oh
They
my
graduate in a couple of weeks, and so they have nail appointments. So I'm making calls and stuff while they're doing what they're trying to do. And I just happen to be at Panera when my computer is about to die. So forgive me for moving around. So let's talk a little bit about, like, okay, so I know that you have your son's 3, doing all of that in your business and restructuring and dealing with some family tragedy. How do you balance all that from a mindset standpoint?
Let me tell you, okay? So there are highs and lows, right? And everyone sees the highlights on Instagram and Facebook, and
Right.
but you never really know what's going on behind the scenes. I will tell you that last summer and in the fall, let me tell you how many times I wanted to just quit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
did. It was hiring the new coach. I wanted to throw up for the investment. I don't think I could sleep for 2 days. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I felt like I couldn't sleep for 2 days. It was one of the highest investments I ever made in my
Yeah.
business. My income did plummet at one
Mm-hmm.
point. because I had to take on some less clients because I was going through the death of my family member, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's when life hits, it hits hard. And it can be really, really hard to feel like to catch your breath again. But
Right.
that's why I think making sure that not even just a mentor, but making sure you have a good inner circle of
Mm.
people to support you. Family is wonderful. Obviously, like, how my spouse is very supportive, but I had to support him through, the death of his brother. So
Right.
supporting a spouse through grief is really difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of people that I met online, a lot of women, people like you, other women that I've met, other master classes and groups that I've been in, and being surrounded by powerful women, like being surrounded by powerful women who have overcome adversities and overcome like crazy life obstacles, and
Mm-hmm.
seeing, like, if they can do this, I can do this. Having
Right.
conversations with them, getting really personal with people, being vulnerable and being okay with not being perfect online. Like I was shared a lot of more personal stuff over the
Mm-hmm.
last year. And I think the less that I felt like I had to be perfect and the less that I had to show up as like this, boss lady CEO, the way
Right.
I think all the time, it took a lot of pressure off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked a lot on mindset over the last year. Like I read a lot, but also like self-care, working out. That
Mm-hmm.
has been a big thing for me. One of my mentors actually a year ago asked me, what does like, six-figure Krissy look like? Right. She
Mm-hmm.
asked me that a year ago. I think it was like in August. And it took me like a month to give her a legit answer, because every
Wow.
time I thought of like six-figure Krissy, it was like,
Mm-hmm.
I would start thinking of these influencers that I followed online and what their life
Mm-hmm.
was like. But
But you don't know. The thing is, when we talked about earlier, like you said, you don't know what goes on the back end.
yeah, and then like everyone's dreams and hopes and desires of what our life looks like isn't all the same. Like your kids are
Mm-hmm.
graduating from high school, and the life that you want may not look like the life that I want, right?
Right.
So like some people want to live in an RV and travel the states.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to travel to Paris and live that very boss lady lifestyle with the
Right.
office, whatever. Some of us just want to go to Disney World for the first time, right, with
Mm-hmm.
their family, and
And spoil your
um
kids rotten.
yeah, like, or just renovate your house, and just like little like there's just certain things, or being able to like go buy your first Coach bag, or like just there everyone has like their own desires of what they want their life to look like. And I had to really figure out what was truly important to me. And once I started to really like live like as if I was already that person, that helped me a lot. Six-figure Krissy always has her nails done. Six-figure Krissy wakes up at a certain time in the morning, journals, drinks her coffee, and works out before her son wakes up, so she's not scrambling in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Six-figure Krissy's son is in daycare a couple days a week, so she can have some me time and have time to work on her business without the mom guilt of putting them in daycare. So there's a
Say
lot.
that one more time for the people in the back.
Yes, without the mom guilt, because it took me months to sign my son up for preschool, because I left my job to be home with my son, and then my priorities didn't shift completely, but they did a little bit. We know if my internet is working. It's working.
It froze for just a little bit, but you're good.
Okay, I was glitching a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it took some time to really get over that. And I talked to other moms who were like in the same situation as me. And let me tell you, he's so much better off. Like
Right.
he goes to school 2 days a week. And it was hard for me in the beginning. There was a lot of tears
Mm-hmm.
for him and me. But I didn't feel like I could give my business or my son 100% of my attention when I had him home all the time. Like I
Right.
was constantly I would get stressed out with him because he would interrupt me from doing work,
Mm-hmm.
or I was getting stressed out with my clients because I felt like I had no time for my kid. So being able to have like some structured time, like more structure in my business, where all right, I only take calls on these days because my son's in school on these days, without feeling like my
Mm-hmm.
son's going to interrupt my life,
Right.
so I went ahead and jumped and did that. And my business since last year, the income has tripled. And
Mm-hmm.
I work less. And it's literally just been about like setting boundaries and
Right.
literally acting as if I'm already at the level I want to be at, if that
I
makes
love
sense.
that. No, I love that. And I love that you talked about setting boundaries, because it's important for us to set boundaries with our clients. in our business. But also, as a mom, we have to set boundaries with our kids too.
Mm.
And nobody really likes to say that because, like you say, I'm home because I want to spend time with my kids. But
Mhm.
sometimes our kids can be time suckers. And so, and being able to just recognize being home with our kids doesn't mean we have to sacrifice what we want and sacrifice that freedom that we want in our business, so that we can not just give them the lifestyle that we want to give them, but that we can have the lifestyle we want for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yep, absolutely. So let's chat a little bit about, because I know one of the things that you are really strong with in helping women do, and moms in business, is kind of take their side hustle and turn it into that six-figure brand. And some people even may be at the six-figure level, but they're running it like a side hustle. So how do you kind of transform those businesses that are operating that way?
Yeah, so what's funny is it took me a really long time to realize that this is actually what I was helping people with. Like when you start mentoring people and you start working with people one-on-one, a lot of people will ask you, well, what do you do? And it's like, well, I do a lot of different things. So I work with a lot of different women and they all
Mm-hmm.
have different transformations. But a couple months ago, I sat down and I had a deep conversation with like every single client that I had, previous clients. I really looked at like, where were they when they first started working with me, versus where they were now? Like, why did they hire me? What did they feel like they really got out of it? And I really started figuring out like a pattern between a lot of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, most of the women that work with me, they already have been in business for a year or two. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
been in business for over 5 years. And they're all making money, but they were literally running their business like it was like an Etsy shop, basically like a side hustle, right? They would just post on social media whenever they had a chance, right?
Mm-hmm. Or whenever they
Um,
felt like it.
exactly. They would just randomly go live, which I still do too. Whatever, it's fine. But like they would just go live and just talk with no
Mm-hmm.
no plan in place.
No
Um,
points, no talking points.
yeah, they would just launch products and services whenever. They would randomly work on this day, stay up till midnight on this day. Like they were all over the place, right? And if you ask them, what's your plan for the next, like for quarter two, quarter three, what's
Mm-hmm.
your plan? They'd be like, I'm just trying to get through this
Right.
quarter. And if you really think about it, if you look at like a CEO of like Target, for example, right? I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
say Target. They're planning out their business probably for November and December right now. Like
Yeah.
they're like 3 months, 6 months out in advance
Mm-hmm.
already planning. And obviously that's a huge corporation,
Right.
but if you really think about it, you can run your business like that. Like just
Mm-hmm.
because you're a small business or a small company doesn't mean that you can't run your business like one of these huge businesses that we see.
Absolutely. Right.
You know what I mean? So what I help my clients do is, and I like to call myself like an architect,
Mm-hmm.
because what we do is they already have the foundation. They've already proven to me that their product or service is needed, because I don't help people start their businesses, like start
Mm-hmm.
a side hustle. You already show me, like, yeah, I don't do that. But like you need to show me that you already can make money, that you already know
Right.
how to make money, you already know how to
Yeah.
sell. People want your services, whatever. You
Mm-hmm.
already have some type of audience and interest, but you don't really have like a strategy put into place. Like
Right.
there's no sales strategy. When you're going to launch something, you don't really have a plan. um,
Mm-hmm.
when you hop on sales calls with people, you're just kind of going with the flow. Like you don't really know exactly what to say to people to close the sale, or how to
Mm-hmm.
pre-qualify people so they're not wasting their time, or they're not paying their invoices,
Right.
things like that. Another big thing that I do with my clients, which has been a huge game changer for my business as well, is I teach my clients how to scale based on building client retention.
Love it.
And client retention essentially is when you don't necessarily have to get new clients every single month. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people, and your business might be different, but like for me, I don't gain new clients every single month.
And that's what I was going to say. Depending on the type of business, if you got new clients, a lot of new clients every month, it will cripple you.
It is. And I think that because we see a lot of people that are selling, like if you sell like courses and obviously like digital products and stuff like that, it makes sense that you'd be getting new clients all the time because it's a
Right.
smaller amount, but you're not having to give like your one-on-one attention to those
Mm-hmm.
people. So if you're like if you're doing like one-on-one consulting, getting new clients every single month, if you're just doing one-off sessions, that's different. But if you have like 90-day programs, 6-month
Right.
programs, to gain new clients every single month, that doesn't seem sustainable to me if you want freedom in your life and
Mm-hmm.
your business. So I teach my clients how to structure their business where they want to take a couple weeks off, the money's flowing. They have
Mm-hmm.
consistent revenue coming in every single month. Contracts are built out 3 months, 6 months, 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
12 months out in advance, where you literally can look at your quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and figure out how much is your business actually looking to grow at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and every single one of my clients, when they came to me, they can't project how much money they're going to
Right.
make.
They're winging it. Right. They're
Yeah,
winging it.
because they've never sat down. And then another thing is, like, without strategy or without any type of plan into place, you're never really figuring out what has actually worked in the past that
Mm-hmm.
made money,
Right.
versus like just kind of, throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something will stick. My
Mm-hmm.
clients, when we have a new launch or we're pushing something out, we look back at what has worked in the past. We
Mm-hmm.
do it again, or we tweak it and then do it
Right.
even better, versus
Yeah.
trying to come up with a new strategy every single month. So
Yeah.
that's essentially how I help my clients, like, basically step it up from like that side hustle over to building an actual 6-figure corporation.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that. And I love that, you and I, again, we work kind of like in the same space, from a social media standpoint and from a business building standpoint. But I love that you start with the overall goal. And I do the same with my clients. We got to start with that vision, because a lot of times people just get out there and they're seeing what, just like you say, just throwing spaghetti at the walls. And it's like, no,
mm-hmm.
let's take a step back and see, what do you want to do at the end of the summer? What type of year do you want to have between now and December, so that we can back into what that sales looks like, so we can back into what your brand looks like, so we can back into what you should be posting on social media. So I love that you started with the overall vision piece of it. And
Mm-hmm.
Adriana is watching. She says the vision piece is a must, and I think a lot of
Absolutely.
times we jump right into it, and then we try and go back and be like, wait a second, this don't look right, so let me figure out what my vision is. But I love that you're being proactive and really helping women just start with the vision piece of it as well.
Yeah, you know what's funny too is a lot of women that I've noticed that start working with me, or just people that come across, is we always think we know what we're doing wrong, or we always assume
Mm-hmm.
what our weaknesses are, when a lot of times that's not what it is. And if you're struggling, or if you're like in a plateau in your business, it's not always like a ton of new strategies that you need to implement. Sometimes it's just one
Right,
change.
one
Like,
thing.
it can be one thing that can, like, oh my God, make your business explode. Like, so don't think that, if your business is in a plateau right now, or if you feel a little stuck, it literally could just be one thing that's
Yeah,
holding you
one
back.
thing, and not trying to implement like 10 different things at one time, because then you still won't know what's working and what's not.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm chatting with Krissy today. We're chatting about how to build in freedom in your business by restructuring, giving yourself permission to restructure, giving yourself permission to pivot. And one of the things that we also talked about is this balance and showing up for yourself in addition to showing up for your family, and not putting yourself last. A lot of times we talk about what that balance looks like, and the kids always come first, but giving yourself permission for the self-care and the balance. So Krissy is actually going to be one of my dynamic speakers next week at the Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. The summit kicks off on June 15th, which is exactly a week from today. And I'm super duper excited. Krissy and I have met over 2 years ago, and I've seen her business restructure, evolve. I've seen her show up like a boss and a CEO, and I'm super excited to have her next week at the summit. I'm going to put the link to register in the caption so that you can make sure that you grab your VIP ticket and hang out with us. But we're going to be sharing this was literally just a taste of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be sharing strategies and tips and insight from women that have done it, other coaches that have done it, other consultants that have done it. They've built their businesses rooted in freedom and flexibility. So again, next week, Tuesday the 15th, is the virtual summit. Freedom is the new flex, and I'm super excited to have you. So, Krissy, where can people find you? Thanks so much for joining us. Where can people find you, either online, or what do you have coming up?
Yeah, so follow me on the gram. I'm in the I'm I'm trying to push up my influencer vibes today, but
Yes, yes.
I'm always on stories, like, every day. That's pretty much where
Mm-hmm.
I spend most of my time. I think I'm funny, and I try to push out reels, content, and stuff like that. But you can find me on the gram at the Krissy Ferreira. As far as what do I have coming up, if you want to join me on June 21st, it's a week after Chanel's summit, I'm going to be doing a 3-day challenge called Sales Transformation, where I'm going to teach you how to sell sell, scale, and basically evolve your business to turn it from that side hustle mindset into a CEO level.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'll make sure Krissy is tagged so y'all can go follow her on all the channels. Make sure that you give her that influencer love and go give her some shout outs. And she is funny. So go check out her stories as well. So I'm going to also click the link. Krissy, it will join us next week at the Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. It's a full day, a power pack day of valuable insight, strategies, tips from some of the best and the most powerful bosses that are out here in the internet game and internet streets, going to teach you how to actually restructure, show up in your business, but doing it rooted in freedom and flexibility. Because you know what, summer's coming, y'all, and we want to be able to spend time with our families, spend time with our kids, or maybe you don't want to do nothing. You just want to be able to have that reoccurring income while you can chill at the beach. So super excited. Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. And Krissy, I thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, and looking forward to having you guys watching at the virtual summit.
Thank you so much.